All right, you guys, let's talk of predictions for All In pay-per-view. Let me know down below what you think is going to happen at the pay-per-view. Now, I'm not going to lie, the build for this was really, really bad. We had plenty of time since All In has been announced, and unfortunately, Tony Khan had like 3 or 4 pay-per-views in between that time where it just makes it seem like he focused too much on each of these pay-per-views one at a time before finally getting to a month away from All In. And that's when we started getting little by little certain things playing out. And then 2 weeks before the pay-per-view is when they really started pushing out these matches. And as a booker, that right there is a no-no. Long-term storytelling is very important with pro wrestling. You can't just announce a show months in advance and then start putting it together 2 weeks before the show. That's absolutely lazy. Tony Khan, get it to fucking together. We want the best for pro wrestling, and you're doing a lot of amateur shit that just doesn't make people feel so confident with paying $50 per pay-per-view in 1 week. That's insane. Let's get into these predictions, guys. All right, so far right now, we only have one match announced for the 0 hour, which is the pre-show to the pay-per-view. Now, the only one we have is MJF and Adam Cole versus Aussie Open. And I'll put it this way. This is a very great match to have for a pre-show. This right here, if they do something spicy enough with this storyline, then it's going to seem like something people might want to buy. So there's issues between Adam Cole and MJF that, that's apparent. People are going to be like, you know what? Let me buy this pay-per-view. I want to see how they're going to end up in their match later on in the main event. So that is something that can convince people. Personally, I don't know if we're going to see issues between MJF and Adam Cole, but what I'm hoping to see is an interference from the Kingdom. The Kingdom, they have been on the side of Roderick Strong, who is the best friend of Adam Cole, and they're having issues. And to spice things up in ROH, if the Kingdom were to somehow get involved with this match, that will start a feud with the Kingdom and Aussie Open, which we desperately need in ROH. If you guys watch my reviews, you know that one thing that is missing right now are storylines, and I'm just hoping they go that direction because I don't really see MJF and Adam Cole winning a tag team gold with this storyline. So I'm hoping for interference from the Kingdom, but either way, definitely Aussie Open will retain. All right, so we have trios action: Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, and Hangman Adam Page versus Jay and Juice Robinson and Konosuke Takeshita. And I'm pretty sure Don Callis is going to be ringside. So I'm very disappointed with this match. The build to this, not great. And like I said in my Dynamite review, the whole build for Kenny should have been Kenny versus Takeshita. This would have made so much sense since Takeshita had been involved with the storyline with the Elite and BCC. That would have been months of telling a story. Takeshita basically has replaced Kenny Omega when it comes to Don Callis. So it would have made so much sense, and I think people would have been much more invested in seeing just Kenny Omega and Takeshita. Takeshita really has not been doing so great in terms of how he was. He was real red hot when he started with AEW. Then he ended up signing with AEW, and people were looking forward to seeing him. Since then, since he's been with Don Callis' family, he has not had matches that has been like not even 5 minutes. He has barely been doing anything, and it's nothing wrong with being a heel or whatever, but I really felt like if they focused on having a storyline with Takeshita and Kenny, that would have not only helped Kenny, but it would have helped Takeshita as well, since he's kind of maybe passing the torch. Either way here, for this, I do see Kenny's team taking the win. I kind of wish it was something much more better to people to get invested in, but unfortunately, it is what it is. Now, we do have a coffin match, and that's with Sir Strickland and Christian versus Darby Allin and Sting. I don't know what the hell happened with this. I really enjoyed Swerve and AR Fox together. And then out of the blue, they flipped the switch on Dynamite and took AR Fox out this storyline, well, out the match itself, and they fired him from the Mogul Embassy. He's only been around with them for not even a month yet, and they scrapped it. This is absolutely insane. So Christian is involved with Darby Allin at some capacity, yes, but it's just like, damn, AR Fox, what's going on? Unless there's visa issues going on with him, I just don't see why they would pull him out of this. Every time something starts going great, all of a sudden the plug is pulled out of the situation. So I don't like this going into it. I do see Darby and Sting taking the win for this match. It just seems like Darby never freaking loses. I hope we get to see more of Joker Sting with this match. It was super, super funny the other day on Dynamite. So I'm hoping we get to see that as well. But Christian's definitely going to come hot and heavy when it comes to Darby Allin, since he's been running his mouth and everything. It just feels so strange how they just threw Christian into this match. Every time they have something great, oh, they ruin it. Either way, Darby and Sting definitely going to take the win. All right, so next we have the Stadium Stampede match, and I do think it's going to get messy. We have Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends with Eddie Kingston and Penta versus BCC. Who else is on their team? The Proud and Powerful, Santana, and Ortiz. They finally returned to AEW. Now, for this right here, I just look at it like, oh, Orange Cassidy's on the other team. Yeah, they're definitely winning. I don't see them. First of all, actually, they do really need the win, especially the Best Friends. They've been taking a lot of L's or whatever, not just with this storyline, but way before this storyline. So they benefit from the win more than the other team. But like I said, with Orange Cassidy being over there and being so invincible and the AEW, it seems like they're probably going to end up taking the win. I feel like this is what I'm most not interested in seeing on this card. It just felt like a lot of things were thrown together. Yeah, we've had things with the BCC and Best Friends for the past few weeks, but it just don't feel like enough. Anyway, Orange Cassidy team definitely gonna take the win. Now up next, we do have the Real World Championship on the line, which is CM Punk versus Samoa Joe. And damn, I am still disappointed that this is on the card. Obviously, this is long-term storytelling. The last time they were in the ring was during the Owen Hart tournament, where CM Punk ended up taking that win. Now, it's hard to say if CM Punk will take the win again, but because the world title is on the line, he obviously wants to make sure he retains that. And honestly, I wish that with this feud that Tony Khan has definitely made things official about this title. I wish he would have come and said, yeah, this is an actual title that we're going to recognize here in AEW, since he never was beaten for this title. That's what's kind of made things a little confusing, because it's like, people are going to feel like, well, this is not really a real world title, especially if Tony Khan does not even acknowledge that. So since it's on the card and they're saying that it's for the title, I'm just going to say that it's sort of acknowledged, but that doesn't really has to be the case. Let's say if the FTW title was on the line, they still recognize that to be, won by going in a match with somebody, but it's not an official AEW title. So I don't know. I wish Tony Khan would have just cleared that up. Either way, I don't see CM Punk losing this, because I do think we're going to get, after the whole Adam Cole thing, it's going to be MJF and CM Punk having a feud, and I can't wait to see that. So Punk is definitely retaining. All right, y'all. So Trios titles will be on the line. House of Black versus Daddy Ass and the Acclaimed. Okay, so I said the Stadium Stampede was what I was least interested in seeing. I lied. This is what I'm least interested in seeing. We've already seen them go at it twice before, and they lost, and I don't feel like the third time is the charm. For me personally, the storyline is not really interesting, but I am excited to see what Daddy Ass is going to do, since he's now coming out of retirement. And obviously, he's upset about House of Black destroying his boots. honestly, the House of Black, they need a much more stronger storyline. They need a really solid backstory to them because they come out every week and you can see that they're dark and menacing, but we want to see a lot more of that character development with these guys. And they look visibly appealing, but that's pretty much it. We don't really know anything about the House of Black, which is unfortunate. Now, I do see them end up retaining here, but I do see that probably, most likely, Daddy Ass is going to end up turning his back completely on the Acclaim. After they take a loss, he's probably going to whoop their asses like a dad and end up leaving. I wish I was more invested into the storyline, but not really. House of Black definitely will retain. Now, we also have the women's title on the line. Hikaru Shida, Britt Baker, Toni Storm, and Saraya. Is it horrible for me to say that Saraya is going to take this win? So out of everyone in this match, she's the one who has not had a title in a long time. I think 9 years or maybe 8 years since she's ever held a title. And also, they are in her home country. They're in the UK, so definitely I can see this being a feel-good story for Saraya. It would make sense, but then I honestly, Hikaru Shida hasn't had it that long, but I do feel like Saraya taking the win would make sense. That will definitely cause some issues with her and Toni Storm, but I don't think it would be right away. Personally, I don't want to see Britt taking this win. There is just no reason why Britt Baker needs this win. Honestly, I wish there was another women's match on this card, but it's the only one we got, so I hope they give it their all since they're the only women's match in this card. But definitely, I think Saraya is going to win. All right, you guys, so now we have the tag titles on the line, FTR versus the Young Bucks. Ugh, I don't know. I do think we're going to get a really solid match from these guys. And this is also another trilogy, so this will be a third match between them. And I'm going to be honest, it's not going to compare to Briscoes and FTR for sure. Definitely not. But I do feel like they're going to give us something really solid. Now, a lot of people have been saying because of the issue with Cash Wheeler that AEW don't have no problem snatching the titles off of FTR and putting them on the Young Bucks. So that's another thing that I wouldn't be surprised if they would have been able to drop the title. I don't know if Cash is going to be facing any type of jail time or whatever. They let him go. I guess he paid some type of bail or whatever. So I'm not sure if he's expecting any jail time or whatever everybody's talking about. But still, I do think that it would be best for FTR to retain. I personally don't want to see the Young Bucks winning the titles. But with FTR, we've been seeing some solid stuff with them in the ring. And they're really, really great. And I think that they are more versatile compared to the Young Bucks. When I see the Young Bucks in matches, I literally feel like I'm watching the same match I saw them in last. It feels like very much the same. I would prefer to see FTR. FTR could step their game up with their promos because their promos almost always feel the same as well. So there's a bit of pros and cons with both teams, but I think FTR winning would be best, and we can still get something progressing when it comes with the AEW tag division. Either way, both teams are great, but FTR, please retain. All right, y'all. Last match of the night. I don't see them throwing anything else on the main card, but only on the pre-show since there's only one match. Now, MJF Adam Cole world title on the line. I don't want to be biased, but MJF needs to retain. I'll be honest with you. I have enjoyed the ride with Adam Cole and MJF. It has been really, really fun. And I really think that this has helped both these guys tremendously, especially MJF, coming from being heel to being a quite favorable babyface right now, which feels so weird. But as a champion, though, I really feel like we haven't seen much of him as a champion. We've just been seeing much more grow about him being partnered up with Adam Cole. And I wish we would have been able to see much more of MJF prior to the whole Adam Cole situation. So I do feel like him being champion, he definitely needs more time. In terms of the storyline, What I'm thinking is it can go either way. That's the thing. For the first time in a long time, I feel like there's a storyline where it can literally go either way and it's really hard to predict. Personally, I would prefer to see Adam Cole be a heel. I would prefer to see Adam Cole betray MJF or just do something that comes as a total surprise to MJF, and this will lead to him being a heel and the crowd booing him or whatnot, especially since MJF has definitely gained so much cool points as a babyface with the crowd. So I would prefer to see that and still see MJF retaining the titles. I just feel like MJF is just not done. And on top of that, in order for MJF to have this amazing feud with CM Punk, he's definitely going to have to win this real world's title thing and end up unifying the titles. So that's what I prefer to see here. But I am definitely gunning for MJF to retain. It can go either way with either of these guys betraying each other since they're friends. Unfortunately, the storyline is going to have to come to an end. And if it were to come to an end, I can't say it's best for it to happen at all end. It's just that it's going to be awkward to continue this storyline if there are problems between the two of them. So I'm kind of hoping that we do see MJF retaining and Adam Cole going heel because heels have more fun. Guys, thanks for watching my prediction video. Let me know below what do you think is going to happen, and I'll see you guys for Collision. Bye.